It's mate, not matcha. Not a typo, not my bad Spanish accent, just mate. If you've ever walked through a market in Argentina like San Telmo here in Buenos Aires, you'll see these little cups everywhere, colorful, handcrafted, and often next to a shiny metal straw called a bombilla. At first, I thought it was just another tourist souvenir, but then I realized it was an introduction into the mate way of life and how I was going to incorporate it into mine when I returned to the US.
I like it.
Meanwhile, back at home in the US, we've suddenly become obsessed with matcha. Matcha lattes, matcha donuts, matcha skincare. It's the caffeinated equivalent of avocado toast. It's funny because I've been drinking matcha latte since I was a college student over 20 years ago.
How much do I love matcha? Well, I have it even when I'm cooking.
Mate, spelled M-A-T-E, but pronounced mate, is a national drink of Argentina and Uruguay. You can easily find mate sold at the local grocery stores in Argentina and Uruguay. It's made from the leaves of the yerba mate plant, dried, ground, and steeped in hot water. Not boiling, that's important, otherwise you burn the leaves and ruin the flavor. Trust me, they take that very seriously here. What makes mate unique isn't just what's in the cup, it's how it's shared. Traditionally, one person prepares the mate, drinks the first pour, then refills and passes it around. Same straw, same cup. It's all about community and connection. If they drink it alone, it's about a routine, a ritual, a comfort measure. It's the opposite of our Western coffee culture, where we grab our drink, plug in our AirPods, and don't talk to anyone. In Argentina and Uruguay, mate forces you to slow down and be present, which, as a busy American, felt both terrifying and kind of refreshing. Maybe I do need to stop rushing around with a hot matcha latte while running errands. My first real encounter with mate was at a cozy little spot in Buenos Aires called La Casa del Diez. We were taken there on a city tour to sample some iconic Argentine treats such as dulce de leche and alfajores. You can catch some more of that visit in the link in the description box below. After our lunch, we made a super special request with the shop workers to sample mate. This wasn't part of our tour, and I think they were gracious because we had shown sincere curiosity, or because we begged really hard.
This is yerba mate.
Okay.
See?
See the mate?
It's from Misiones.
Oh, that's
Catarata Falls?
Yeah.
Iguazu Falls?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, this. My father is from this.
And you shake.
More.
Oh, okay.
More. 3.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
See?
All right.
And then a big
Too
thermos.
hot, huh?
Caliente.
Yeah.
Caliente, muy caliente.
Muy caliente.
Look. 75 this, 25 this.
Oh.
Understand?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. 75% herbs,
Yeah,
25% water.
In 1 minute, no. In 1 minute, 1 minute, sit down.
Oh, let's settle. Okay.
Yeah. 1 minute.
Oh, you don't stir.
No, no move it.
That is bad.
No move it.
Okay, this is my first mate. I'm very excited. I've heard a lot about it. Okay. I feel like I'm an Argentinian
Take it
now.
easy.
Yeah. Well, it's actually pretty strong.
I've heard of magical things about mate, so I'm going to give it a sip here. I like it. It reminds me of a really strong black tea.
Yeah, sí.
I like it.
Es más fuerte que el té.
But more than the taste, it was the ritual that fascinated me. The fact that something so simple, just hot water and leaves, could be central to a country and its culture. We left Argentina with a new appreciation for mate and spent the remainder of our time in Montevideo, Uruguay.
One thing you may notice is that a lot of people walk around with giant thermoses. It's like, this is all before the Stanley Cup was all the rage. But people are doing that because they're carrying their mate, or the cases that they use to carry their thermos, their mate cups, straws, and mate leaves.
While in Buenos Aires, we had a casual introduction to mate, in Montevideo, we got a more formal course on it at Bar Facal.
It's amazing. This restaurant has been around since 1882, 100 years before I was born. One thing that's special about this place is that they actually serve mate. So if you want a mate experience, then come here, because mate is a personal thing, so you're not going to really see it served in a restaurant or in a store. We did have one mate tasting in Buenos Aires, but only because we had to beg for it. And here's something I've never seen. At the back of the menu, they sell souvenirs. So you can get a t-shirt saying that you've been to this cafe. Or maybe if I really like mate, I can get this mate cup.
Sorry for my English, but...
Oh, that's all right.
So we have the straw, we call it bombilla, okay? We have the mate, properly the mate, we call it, okay? And we have yerba mate on it, okay? And now we have to prepare the yerba mate, to prepare the mate, okay? So the first thing that we do, in Uruguay we used to drink with a monta here, and we use the monta to keep the taste of the mate, okay? I mean, when you drink it, you wanna get, so that we keep it like that, we keep it there and dry, okay? That is why we used to do it like that, okay? So I have warm water here, and we have to make the monta, okay? We do like this, and now we put some water on the side. All right, and now we have to wait for the yerba mate to swell, okay? Then, when the yerba mate absorbs the water, we can put the straw and set the first mate, okay? But for now, we have to wait a couple of minutes, 3-5 minutes, something like that. And yeah, and then we can start with the mate, okay?
Okay.
The waiting was the hard part, but it's crucial for the hot water to brew the leaves.
And of course, you're supposed to share the mate with people that you bonded with. So, yeah, I guess I bonded with my husband, right?
Okay, and then we push a little bit, so you will see the monta like grow a little bit more, okay? So do it for yourself, so you have the full experience. Take it with your hands, please.
All right.
You will make a miss.
Like a stabbing it, sort of.
Yeah, but sorry. Use 2 hands, please. Oh, no.
Okay.
Take the mate, because if not, you will spill it. Okay? And it's just straight here on the side, and then you push a little bit, okay? Yeah, to the bottom. Yeah, here we go. You see the monta now?
Yeah.
Done. So now we set the first one. I will do it, so you will see how much water I put in it. It's just a little bit on the side. Done. There is the first mate.
Oh.
Okay? And the thing is this, we share the mate and the straw, but we are not sharing the same water. Okay? So you drink it, you finish it, okay? And then if you want, serve another one and then you share. That is the way that we should drink it. Okay? Because we don't think about the straw, but share the same water, then it's gross. So,
Okay.
yeah. Go ahead, guys.
All right, you get the first swig. Oh, it's pretty strong. He did say the first 5 to 10 servings are going to be pretty strong. All right, he's going to put some more. He's taking the second sip, which shouldn't be as strong as the first one.
It's out of liquid.
All right, to Uruguay. Yeah, it's like a really strong black tea, which I don't mind. I do like milk tea, but yeah, it's a really strong black tea. Very deep and flavorful. Just realized something, that the thermos, it's not a Stanley, at least I don't think it is, but they have their logo engraved on the leather covering of it. Again, to Uruguay, this is going to replace my coffee for the morning because it does contain caffeine.
You may think I would be bouncing off the walls from the caffeine content, but there's something about pouring your mate that makes you slow down and be more intentional.
Whoopsie, had a little accident there. I spilled a little bit too much water into the mate cup. Got a little casualty there. Whoops.
I felt like I was getting the most Uruguayan experience with watching football at a restaurant while enjoying mate.
I don't know what team that was, I can't see, but the red and blue team made the penalty kick and won. So here we go. Got to celebrate the win with some mate. My only problem with the mate is that you have to keep pouring from the thermos because like these mate leaves, they absorb water. So I've already gone through nearly half of this and barely got a few sips. With subsequent pourings of water, you do dilute the strength and the taste of the mate. So let's see if Jason will now like it.
It's a little better, but it's still kind of bitter for me.
Mate, it's not for everybody, but you know, it's still worth trying out. I finished it all off. I drank this entire thermos of hot water. But yeah, remember, I might have gotten maybe like half of it or sipped about half of it because these leaves, they just absorbed all that water.
That sense of ritual and comfort stayed with me long after I left Argentina and Uruguay, and I decided to find a way to incorporate mate in my life back at home in the US. Here in LA, I was inspired, caffeinated, and determined to make mate part of my daily routine. It's ironic how I could find Argentine steak-flavored potato chips with Lionel Messi's face on it. But I had a harder time looking for mate. In South America, mate is everywhere. In LA, not so much. I went to Ralph's and checked the Latin American tea aisle. I found chamomile, peppermint, and sleepy thyme. The closest thing I could find to mate was the yerba mate energy drinks next to the Red Bull. But something about drinking mate out of a can took away from the sanctity of the ritual. Plus, this flavor was loaded with sugar, whereas the mate I tasted in South America did not contain any. I even joined the yerba mate subreddit looking for advice because at least most of the posts are written by real people. Okay, I'll admit it. I really wanted the Buc-ee's theme mate cup I saw online. The problem? I'm not from Texas, so unless Buc-ee's expands west, it's gonna be a dream. Another challenge was that I was going to have to figure out how to drink mate at work because I work in a hospital and there's no way they will allow open drinks in patient care settings. It's about JCO. If you know, you know. At least I could try to drink in a covered cup at my workstation away from the patient care areas. This would mean finding mate tea bags. Someone on Reddit had posted up that they found mate tea bags on sale at Northgate Market. So I headed to nearby Wilmington where there was a Northgate. In case you don't know what Northgate Market is, it's a Mexican supermarket. Okay, it's not South American, but I was following a lead from Reddit. Let's hope for the best. Hopefully they'll have mate here, specifically the tea bags. Instead of media lunas or croissants from Argentina and Uruguay, I was greeted by the sight of pan dulce or Mexican sweetbread. Not mate, but it's close to Dia de los Muertos. Definitely not mate here. These are agua frescas. Let's look up at the signs and try to figure out what aisle mate would be in if they carry it. I found mate all right, but it's the yerba mate energy drink that I could have gotten at Ralph's. Then I went over to their herbal tea section and struck out there. They carried all sorts of herbal teas, but not mate. At this point, I was frustrated how they could carry sodas from all over South America, but not mate. Oh, I did see a mate soda, but that's not what I was looking for. I could find hot chocolate, but that wasn't the type of drink I was going for. Geez, at this rate, they should have a square with mate on their loteria game. Looks like I struck out. They don't have any mate here at Northgate. However, if I wanted pan dulce, they had plenty of that. I think it's because Northgate sells more Mexican type goods, and I don't think Mexicans drink mate. We were definitely not in Argentina or Uruguay, as these are Mexican hot chocolate mugs and not the gourds for mate. It was a valiant effort, but this was Northgate and not Jumbo, the supermarket in Buenos Aires, or Frog in Montevideo. It's a reminder that mate is a uniquely South American ritual. Part of my zest for mate stems from the closures of Starbucks throughout the country. I was trying to replace what I once found thrilling in a cup of coffee with a different drink. Also, I felt like this matcha latte craze was getting out of hand like the Labubu fad. On an overcast, cool day at the beach, it would have been nice to have a gourd of hot mate, just like I'd seen people do at the parks in Argentina and Uruguay. I was still determined to find a way to make mate fit into my life and be compliant with hospital regulations. Seeing that I struck out trying to find mate or a way to drink mate that would be more acceptable for my job, I had to resort to one thing. Here we go. Amazon Prime. Yep, ended up being on Amazon, but that's okay. I read on Reddit that, that's how some people end up getting their mate. So let's cut open the bag, and what do we got? We got, that's right, yerba mate tea. Here's a better look at the packaging. They're actually tea bags. Yes, 40 tea bags. They tell you how hot to cook the water and how long to steep it. And they said it's from Argentina, so it's supposed to be authentic. So what if I'm not pouring hot water out of a thermos? I mean, the hot water has to start from somewhere, like a kettle, and here I have an electric kettle. Can't get the tea bag to stop moving, but it is kind of darling there and makes it more practical and easier to drink mate. Hot water's done. Gonna pour mate into my cup here. No, it's not one of those gourds, but close enough. It is double insulated. Instead of pouring water to half of the cup and letting the leaves seep, I poured water into the entire cup because I need the entire bag to seep. This is my version of the waiting game with the hot water, just like how we had to wait for the mate leaves to steep in the gourd.
I love how the ad on the packaging shows you the authentic way of drinking mate, and then here's how I'm adapting it to my life. This mug of mate is all just for me, not for sharing. Here we go with the first sip. Buen provecho. It's gonna be a little hot. So it doesn't have quite the strong taste of mate when I tried it in Argentina and in Uruguay, but it still has the hint of it, and I do like the idea of having a hint of the mate taste. Is it a substitute? It's close enough, and it's probably the most practical way for me to be able to drink mate, especially at my job, because at least that's covered. But I think the more important thing is being able to adapt what you learn from your travels to your real life back at home. And for me, because it's hard for me to find real mate leaves and then be able to drink it in a cup with the straw, this is the way to do it. So in the end, the mate tea bags are the way to go while I'm outside of South America, and plus, I'm not gonna get in trouble with JCO.
I might never master the art of the perfect mate pour or get away with sneaking an open gourd with leaves into the hospital, but every time I make it, I'm reminded of my time in South America. Maybe that's the real power of mate, not the caffeine boost, but the warm feeling and comfort it produces. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it. Maybe we'll start a little mate movement right here in the US.